I'm glad that you asked that question. That gave me a chance to explain that in one sentence. I would say that India has got about 600 to 700 million people connected, and the equal number are unconnected, right? India is also one of the highest mobile penetration country. We claim that we have sold more than 1.1 billion SIM cards. At least one third or more than two thirds of those SIM cards must have been sold to the same number of people, or one person must have bought more than two SIMs or three SIMs. What I'm actually trying to say is that India is number 2 in being connected country. India is also number 2 in being the most unconnected country. However, all the policies these days are being made on assuming that everybody is connected and everybody is digitally included. And that is where the landscape is quite uneven in terms of ability or the infrastructure facility to access digital. So it is something like my life is dependent on digital, but my life doesn't have a connectivity to digital because they are written illiterate. They are alphabetically, many of the languages that the government used to inform people, illiterate. They are orally literate, but written illiterate, right? And everything doesn't happen orally like biometric, right? I'll give you one specific example from COVID time. 320 million students were offline because of the obvious reasons. All the schools were closed. 80% of them do not have connectivity. But government announced that since schools are not going to open, you can study online, which was a cruel joke. So your decisions or your promulgations, your policies, your delivery systems are based on digital, but the infrastructural access is not there available for everyone. So it is also something like saying you have right to information, but you don't have access to information. You have right to food, but you don't have access to food. You have right to education, but you don't have access to education. So access here is a decision maker, which is actually, in one word, is a road to injustice, which is data injustice or digital injustice or a human rights violation. Because you made the policies only for those who are connected, who are digitally literate, digitally educated, digitally enabled. That's the way you are making all the policies. You are unable to go to get your ration from the ration shop because government declared you can buy food online. So all the e-commerce companies are relishing and flourishing because suddenly this is the norm, and they are showing that yesterday 2 people were buying, now 4 people were buying, and then tomorrow 6 people were buying, and then 60 people were buying, and then 600 people were buying. Of course your graph will increase because you're not leaving any option. But that doesn't mean that everybody can get access. So that's the landscape of the country. We have 1.4 or 1.5 million schools in India, most of them government schools, but almost negligible of them, and there are various data that not 30%, more than 30% have online connectivity or the internet connectivity, and the similar number have maybe computer access. So therefore, you are certainly making a whole large population deprived of education. Similarly, whole large population deprived of health access. Similarly, whole large population deprived of access to food, or subject to costlier food, or subject to costlier cost of access to food. So that's our policies are digitally enabled, digitally dependent, but our infrastructural facilities are not up to the mark.